The sixth set of the day will be played on Naro Spirit. Sorry, not Naro Spirit, Naro Station. Spawning up in the top right-hand position as the red Protoss from SK Telecom T1. His name is Rain.
His opponent spawning as the blue Protoss on the left bottom position. Currently has 1 kill for STX, going for the second one and the final kill of the day. His name is Classic.
So, got PvP on Naro. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that?
Well, we don't even have to talk about the map changes, except for the middle area.
I guess so.
Just once more before we, completely ignore about map balance change explanations.
Yeah, this is the map that was changed the most, I feel, between the last round and this current round. Oh, the map was overall increased a little bit in size, so there's more airspace around it. Kind of helped Terrans with a little bit of drop play. And in addition to that, the kind of the middle area towards the bottom right hand of the map, there's some high ground and low ground added in that wasn't there before, and just kind of widening out things overall.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that also allows some of the other races to come out on this map previously on Winners League. But we're gonna have to see if players still think that it's a PvP map, or if it's not. Once we look at all these matches in this particular round and see what Kespa decides to do with the map in round number 5.
That's true. All right, double gas openings from both Protoss players here. And beyond that, we don't know yet if they're going to commit to that second gate. We will find out quite shortly, though. Generally, a little bit after the cybernetic score finishes, that second gateway either goes up or is ignored.
Yeah, just because, in the old days when they went for the double gateway, they decided to get the second gas much later, and it started off by Yonghwa anti-4-gate build, and it just became a really solid opener, I have to say. Going for 3 Stalkers early on, you're safe against some kind of early pressure as long as it's not a proxy 2-gate, and you're pretty much safe. But both players getting a Zala, so we're not going to see the second gateway anytime soon.
Doesn't look like it. We'll probably see a sentry follow-up here. Maybe even some very fast tech play from either player. Stargate looking very likely.
We might even see a Stalker into Mothership Core and then trying to harass their opponent as much as possible, but Classic, he's opting for the sentry, and Rain also going for the sentry. This time I am completely wrong.
Sentry's the common follow-up here.
It is a common follow-up.
You do kind of need something to defend if your opponent's going to do some pressure here, and getting that sentry out earlier, it's going to allow you to use the hallucinate as well. So that's useful for getting a good scout on your opponent at the crucial time.
And Classic going for the Twilight Council. His opponent Rain is getting a Stalker out. We still don't see the tech of his choice, also a Twilight Council.
I guess we do see it now.
Rain's positioning seems more like it's going to be a DT hiding the Twilight Council in the corner. We don't. Same thing for Classic.
It really just depends at this point. Both it looks like both players do want to use the militia for the scout. Rain, is he going to move it out though? We do have Classic already going ahead and go for that. 2 extra gateways being added on here for Rain. Probably going to be seen blink at this point.
Same thing for Classic.
Well, PvP Naro Station, mirroring it up 100% of the way.
So Classic is going for the blink, Rain also going for the blink. This is going to be a little funky, I have to say. It's really a micro battle in this point, and whoever tries to defend on top of the ramp is going to have the advantage.
Indeed, that's very important to point out here, because they're going to have about the same amount of units here, the same amount of supply. The defender will have a very slight advantage.
So it's really important for these players to scout around and see the true intention. This is a really smart hallucination by Rain, however. Classic doesn't know if that's real or not, so he's going to run away with all of those probes unless he knows that it's a hallucinated Oracle at this point in the game.
All right, well, that Twilight Council is scouted from Classic here, and I'm sure Rain will be able to do some scouting of his own. And we have a proxy pilot up here, the Oracle moving into the main base. Does get killed off, though, before it scouts what Classic is up to here.
A 4th gateway by Classic. He's completely going for it. Rain getting a robo behind it, playing it as safe as possible, but I don't think Rain saw the Twilight Council.
He did not see the Twilight Council Supernova, and because of that, he is still kind of like not really in the know. He doesn't know what to do in this situation.
Yeah, he saw the 3 gateways. There's supposed to be some kind of tech out at this point, unless it's a 4 gate. So it's like, did he actually hide something in the right bottom corner, and did I just not scout it in time? But Classic, he needs to move out pretty soon because the Immortals are going to come out pretty soon by Rain after the first Observer.
Once the Immortals are out, that's going to allow Classic to be in a pretty solid position.
But Rain going for the expansion, this is risky.
It's very risky here. Classic, though, if he decides to go for an expansion as well, he'll be perfectly fine. But moving around the map, trying to kill off some of these proxy pylons, that's actually really nice for Classic. It's going to allow him to have a few unit advantage over Rain.
Did I say 4 gate, by the way?
I don't know. Sorry.
I was saying 4 gate, but it was actually 3 gate, and I was like confusing with the numbers inside my head for a few seconds. So apologies on that right now. And looks like Classic, he's gonna move out on the map. He doesn't have any Nexus for himself, so he's gonna press on for the attack.
All right, Classic moving in here. I think we're gonna have to see a cancel on that Nexus. Yes, we do see a cancel there. An Immortal immediately being chronoed out right now. Classic, will he commit to this pressure here? That's the real question.
He does have more Stalkers.
He does have more Stalkers, but not much more. The Guardian Shield that can be used by Rain can turn this around, and once the Immortal's out, that's when I feel this attack will not work.
And do remember, Classic also finished his Robo, so if he decides to pull out from here, he's also going to be fine defensively.
Yeah. All right, well, it looks like the pressure has stopped. Classic opting to move back. He's going to go ahead and make a Nexus of his own here. Rain spotting, or sorry, that's Classic's Observer there. He hasn't spotted quite yet, but there is still a proxy pylon over here near that natural. All right, we got an Observer on the way for Classic as well. These Stalkers, once again spotting another proxy pylon from Rain here, so that's not going to end up doing anything in this situation. And overall, things are looking pretty even between both players here. I would say Classic may have a slight edge here.
I'm going to correct myself once again. The 4 gates, Classic could have gone for it actually. You know, he had more gateways than his opponent. He could have got a lot of Stalkers out, but he's like, well, I'm going to play a little more safe. And yes, it was 4, not 3.
That was.
I'm like confused at myself. It's like, was it actually 4? Was it actually 3?
It's like there's actually like 8 gateways in his base, and you somehow missed all of them, man.
Well, it does happen. So, apologies in advance. By looking at the game right now, Rain getting a Robo Bay, Classic also getting a Robo Bay. Same builds coming out from both of these players.
Yeah. So, really everything quite even here, but we have a little bit of a skirmish. Rain blinking forward there, may be able to get a small victory here. Can he snipe off one of those Stalkers? Decides, nope, I'm just going to back off now.
He doesn't know what's ahead if he goes for the forward blink once again, so he didn't want to risk it. He did not want to risk it. Behind us, Rain and Classic both finishing up their natural expansions. However, it's Rain. Because he has 1 less gateway, he does have the minerals to go for the Forge faster than his opponent.
Grabbing that Forge. We also see a Forge from Classic here just starting up, so won't be too far behind in the upgrades. You can see here. It really is just turning into a Mexican standoff right now. Both players, you know, they don't want to commit to the attack because they could definitely die if that happens, but, you know, they're just going to be comfortable sitting back and macroing up.
Regular PvP?
Pretty much. I'd say a passive PvP.
Really passive PvP, especially even with the blinks out. Players are playing so passive, but up until around 15 minutes they have to play passive, and once they start getting a lot of Colossus out, that's when they could go for the hallucinated blink into the main base, try to pick up as many probes as possible and gain an economic lead 15 minutes into the game.
We are seeing both players scout each other perfectly, getting all of the information they need here, so it's fine on that.
Oh yeah, so now it's a question of who has the better decision making after scouting what his opponent is exactly going for.
We do see an additional robotics bay from both players here. Getting the Colossus range, they're getting the +1 attack, of course, from both sides. Additional gateway being added on for Rain as well. And the supplies, 97.97. I kind of wish there was more action going on here, guys, but really just everything is so mirrored right now in every sense of the word.
It's like telling 2 computers to go for the same exact build, and they're carrying it out right now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The only difference is that Classic has a really nice map coverage and also going to scout when his opponent is going to go for the dirt base, but look at the Stalkers moving out on the map.
Well, and a third expansion on the way for Classic. Going to grab that and hopefully his opponent Rain doesn't scout that early enough, because we could see Rain try to potentially, punish that play, but instead getting a third expansion of his own.
Not surprised.
Yeah, no surprise.
Both players, they don't, like you said, they don't want to engage into the army because of the addition of the Nexus Cannon. The choke is really small on this map, and the Colossus is going to have a huge arc on your opponent's main army if you decide to push into the natural. Instead, you want the fight to happen in the middle of the map, hoping that you get the better arc because you have a better chance of winning the engagement over there. So it's better for these players to get a third base right now, possibly even go for a little greedy fourth base, because you know your opponent is not going to push out on the map.
And then it looks like we're getting 2-2. Both players getting that right now. It looks like Classic wants to do a little bit of harassment with these Stalkers here. Maybe he'll blink into the natural and go for the third at the same time.
Well, he doesn't know the third base is up, so he wants to check right now. He checked at the mid base over there, saw that there's no Nexus over there, and now it's only a matter of time before he scouts the 3 o'clock position.
Just remember, man, they're both robots, so they have to perform the exact same build order in the exact same way here.
And also, it's slowly getting to the time where these players need to start throwing away those Stalkers in exchange of supply for a better army in the final Colossus versus Colossus Laser Wars.
That, or go for the double Stargate, pump out Void Rays, or pump out Tempests. I would love to see either of those on this map. The Tempest, I feel, would be especially valuable.
Well, I think Void Ray is a possibility, Tempest not so much, because both players open up non-Stargate. Yeah. If they had a Stargate, they could just throw it on a Fleet Beacon right now, throw down a second Stargate, and they can go for the Tempest right away.
Alright, and finally we got some action going on here. Classic deciding to move his Stalkers into the main base. Going to throw away a few of them, and to snipe off some workers here. Nice, efficient way to get rid of the Stalkers when they're less useful in the game.
And look at this, another blink hit to the natural, but that was a terrible decision as those Colossus picks them off one by one.
Yep, and more Colossus here kind of just end it right there for Classic. So
lasers are pretty good.
He does get a lot of probe kills actually though, up to 11. So we already see, well, look at this though, the double Stargate that we were talking about on the way with the Templar Archives. Once you have those 3 bases full of gas and you have your Colossus count, you can go for something like this. But Rain, he's getting ready to move across the map here with his main army force. Looks like he may try to attack this third.
Classic does have one less Colossus, but he does have the defender's advantage. Look at this, trying to draw the Colossus out of position with those Blink Stalkers. Gets a couple of probes, but not as much.
Amount.
Yes, not the same amount. And also, Rain just hoped that he could have gotten into better position by putting the Colossus down the ramp, but it just didn't work out for him.
I actually kind of expected Rain to go for an attack
yes.
there. He was gearing up for it. The Void Rays are on the way now, though, and we don't see Rain with the Void Rays. Remember, guys, he did lose to the Void Rays the last time he played PvP.
And he doesn't know about it. That's why he's morphing every single one of those Templars into Archons. If he knew about the Void Rays, it's a choice of, do I catch up in the Void Ray count? Or, do I go for Mass Blink Stalker timing? And at this point, Rain, once he sees the Void Rays come out, he needs to get a Storm right away and then throw down his own Stargate.
Well, I like how those Stalkers kind of just walk past each other, and then they're like, oh, well, I guess I have to worry about my opponent there.
We're going to suicide into the natural mineral line anyway, so let's just, let's just do not kill each other. We're going to die anyway, so.
I think that's a Leroy Jenkins Stalker right there. He's going in there. He's gonna end up dying, though. The enemy Stalkers killed him off.
This is not looking great for Rain right now. He's focusing on the Colossus Immortals. Only 2 Archons. And throwing away those Stalkers one by one. His opponent getting up to 4 Void Rays.
And those Void Rays are going to be very, very difficult for Rain to deal with in this position. He doesn't have the Storm. He doesn't have any Void Rays of his own.
The Phoenix needs to scout the Void Ray. That's going to be so crucial for Rain, but he still doesn't see it.
No, he doesn't. And you know what? Classic morphed an Archon right in front of that Phoenix there. He's going to be expecting, Archons as well to fight against.
This is not looking good for Rain. This is really not looking good for Rain. I mean, he does have the Archons, but with the Void Ray stacking up, once it goes into one final battle, there's going to be an iffy situation where Classic and Rain is going to have a similar main army engagement in ground. But the Void Rays are going to deal extra damage against the Colossus, and eventually Classic is going to win the Colossus war.
true. Oh,
He
did that
finally
Phoenix?
saw it.
I think he may have just seen those, but look at this. Rain moving in here towards that third base. He's not going to fully commit here, but he...
Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa. Need to get it out of there.
Okay. The Colossus are starting to move back here, but the Void Rays, they're attacking the Colossus there, and we do have Time Warps going down on both sides. The engagement looking pretty solid for Classic here. He is behind in supply, though, now, starting to really crumble. 130 to 180. It looks like the overall arc for Rain was superior here, and with Stalkers reinforcing.
The overall arc was superior for Rain, but also remember, since Classic was getting the Void Rays, he was just counting on the fact that he was going to mass up Void Rays before Rain saw the number of Void Rays that he had, and Classic, GG. Rain just didn't give Classic enough time. He said, well, I know you're getting the Void Rays, and this is my only chance. I have better ground army, so I'm going to go for it.
Rain preventing the 4-2 from happening there. Classic, unfortunately, defeated. He was playing pretty decent. I liked the strategy that he had, but, you know, in the end, Rain, he knew how to deal with that situation. He did die to Void Rays recently in PvP, so it looks like he trained extra hard, and I was like, all right, I know what's going to go on here, and I'm going to deal with it and eventually take the win.
So the score is 3-3, and everyone has